In my last video, I used fists to destroy Combat Warriors players. You might be wondering, how? Fists are the worst weapon in CW. How the f did you kill people with those? Simple. Parry. Parry is intended to be a prediction-based counterplay mechanic. Well, technically, you could react to someone's swing. It's very unlikely your parry will connect unless you have an insane reaction time. Parry is intended to punish your enemy for being too predictable. It's all mind games, to be honest, but there are actually some tips I can give you to get more consistent parries. I should start by saying parry alone cannot carry your playstyle. It's fine to parry once in a while, but you should only parry if you're super confident that it'll connect. Parrying heavy users has a lot to do with trying to understand their playstyle. You have to see consistent opportunities in their behavior. Say someone's using a Dragon Slayer, and every time I jump at them, they swing. Based off of this behavior, you can assume that the next time you jump at them, they'll swing again. Finding consistent behaviors in your enemies to exploit is the most consistent way to parry. Most of the time though, you won't know every minute detail of your enemy's playstyles. You're not like in their mind going like, ooh, in the next 0.2 seconds he's gonna jump and swing. No. The reality is, you'll have to make assumptions based on people's playstyles like 99% of the time. I like to say that heavy users are on a spectrum, from W keyers to S keyers. Based on where they place on that spectrum, I can usually predict what they're gonna do. Full W keyers are hyper aggressive and usually don't parry bait at all. They just jump at you mindlessly and try to catch you off guard with fast swings. Smart W keyers usually stay really close and threaten you to try to get you to parry. S keyers usually withdraw until you make an offensive move, so they can retaliate by hitting you while you're on cooldown. All heavy players reside on the spectrum, unless they're brainless little 5-year-olds playing on mommy's iPad. Knowing how to predict someone's swings based on their playstyle, unfortunately, can only come from experience. As much as I'd love to give you the fruit of knowledge and list every single player in CW and their playstyle in full detail, I cannot. You gotta go out there and learn for yourself. Light users are actually really easy to parry once you know how they think. The secret is to parry their second connecting swing. Not their first, not their third, their second. Let me explain. Their first swing usually whiffs. Like crazy, like it either phases through you or it's not even close. Their first connecting swing is the one that does damage. The one after that swing specifically is the one you need to parry. Just tank the first swing and parry their second and boom.
Well, Coldway, why not the third swing, or the fourth?
Because any slightly competent light user with a functioning brain cell knows that most people try to parry the third hit, so they'll bait out that parry. If you try to parry the third hit, it'll probably only work against like level 10s or something. Parrying the second hit won't work every time, but I assure you that it's the most consistent way to hit a parry on lights. Well, what about Chainsaw? Okay, I'm gonna be honest, I fucking hate Chainsaw, so I never fight them, but Chainsaw is a multi-hit weapon, so you can try and hit their second multi-hit, which would probably work most of the time, but I honestly wouldn't even try to parry a Chainsaw, because most of the time they're gonna try and parry bait you. What's parry baiting, I hear you ask? I would hope you know already, but in case you don't, parry baiting is when you do something to get your enemy to parry. I'm a grand master in the art of parry baiting, so let me pass down to you my boundless knowledge. When other YouTubers explain how to parry bait, they always go like, okay guys, all you have to do is roll and spin and slide everywhere and do this and that, and you gotta bait them out, you gotta juke them out, you gotta go behind them, you gotta spin, go real fast, spin. No. None of that. There are 3 very consistent ways to parry bait that cost no stamina. The first one is to kick. This is for you mobile players out there. If you have your weapon out and kick, a lot of the times it'll make a sound like you're swinging, and your character will twitch a little, which is often enough to get most players to press F. The one caveat for parry baiting is that you have to be close to them most of the time. Close enough to swing and get hit. I only advise you parry bait if you either have some good movement or you're confident that they'll parry. And honestly, the average player does. The second method is to equip and unequip your weapon. I don't think this is reasonable for mobile players, so this is just for my PC enjoyers. If you have your weapon unequipped most of the time, you can equip it to scare the other person. Just remember, you have to have your weapon unequipped most of the time for this to work. Just trust me. I know that it seems like a small, insignificant movement, but it actually works very consistently for me. You can combine this with shaking your camera to emulate a swing, but most of the time this isn't necessary. This strat works extra well if you combine it with the next strategy. The last method is to stand still in front of them. What? This one's sanity must have already crumbled! No. Hear me out. At its core, parry baiting is about instilling enough fear in your enemy to get them to fold and parry early. What is scarier than someone just standing still in front of you with their sword out? No one ever knows what to do. It's terrifying and really fucking funny. Parrying isn't all about just being able to press F. If you understand the counterplay better, you can counter the counterplay. My last point is, don't rely on parry. With all that I know about parry and all of my practice with it, I barely use it while playing with any weapon besides fist. While parry is broken if you hit it, the reality is that there are just more consistent, easy ways to win fights. Like really good movement. Knowing how to parry well is great and all, but its use in higher levels of play is limited because it's kind of boring. It's a lot more fun to jump on your opponent's head or juke them out instead of trying to parry bait and avoid being parry baited for like 3 minutes straight. Look, parry is great and all, but next time, maybe consider taking your hand off the F button. Hey you. Yeah, you. Thanks for making it all the way through the video. Remember to subscribe, or maybe even leave a like if you like my content. Bye now.